right, all right. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening out there? United States of America, Little Top Army, and all the rest of the world. Welcome to Little Top Live on a Saturday night. We usually try and get together at least once a week to discuss some things, and I feel like there's plenty to discuss. Here we go. Can you see me? If y'all chiming in and you can see me, let me know. What's happening, Steve, my man? How you doing out there in California? Make sure my combo's good. Give me a combo check. Feel like we got a lot of things to talk about tonight. Things are going pretty good, buddy. Things are going pretty good. We pretty much just plug it away over here on the East Coast. A lot of crazy stuff in the news. That's why I wanted to have a seat here, have my cold drink, and discuss it with some of my fellow veterans. So when y'all chime in, if you're getting this, let me know where you are, what the weather's like. I always get like getting that S2 dump. All right, all right. Let's see. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. All right, John Lane, what's happening, my man? Good to see you. I'll go ahead and give you everything going on over here. It's been nice today, about 70 degrees over here on the East Coast in North Carolina style. Spent a little bit of time outside with my little girl. Had a pretty good day overall. My man sees going to a police fundraising event tonight. All right, I'd appreciate that. I'm sure they do too. Well, look at Alvarez. There's another California boy tuning in here. What's happening, my man? Me and Alvarez spent some time in the military together way back in the day, late 80s style, Soviet Union and everything. It's crazy, long time ago. Hope you're doing all right out there. We're going to let a couple more people get on here and we'll get to talking. I see we got 6 people watching, so if you're on here, let me know who you are, where you are. Give me that, what the weather's like, wherever it is here in America. And if I got any of my boys overseas, either my boys up there in Spain, over there in Germany, or down there in Australia, make sure you chime in and let me know you're here. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. Before I get going, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to some of the people that helped me do this, all my Patreon supporters. Got quite a few of them now. We got my man Steve Gallagher on here. I got Omar Shakur, who hopped on board, our first pilot. Appreciate Omar, you getting on. I got Lance Lopez, Lisa Dahl, Lorna McLaughlin, and of course, my man, Sergeant Major Han. Sergeant Major, hope you're doing all right. All right, let me click back over. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, we got 8 people. Go ahead and get going. I'm sure everybody's been watching the news, and it's been a pretty rough week. A lot of bad stuff going on out there. That horrible shooting down in Florida. And I've been watching people all over Facebook chime in on their thoughts about what they need to do and what they think the right thing is to do and how simple it is. Well, the one thing I'll say is no matter what, whoa, what's wrong with my arm? Whoa, stop that. Man, sorry, boys. I'm in a bind here. Disregard that, man. Let me see if I can fix that. Patow! Here we go. My bad. Sometimes doing this live thing gets a little bit crazy and y'all see some things that maybe you really don't want to see. All right, let me click back over. All right, here we are. Anyway, it's been a pretty rough time, and I've seen a whole lot of people out there talking about what we need to do and how easy it would be and as far as gun control and all that goes. So I wanted to chime in with some of my fellow veterans and find out what y'all think. Is it an easy fix or is it a problem? Let's talk about the weapons. Give me your thoughts. What do you think right now the first thing should happen as far as all this goes? What's the first thing America should do to deal with with these mass shootings and stuff at these schools? And the big thing is, I'm not going to get pissed off here because eventually I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. And you may not agree with it. That's fine. We don't have to agree on here, but I'd at least like to discuss it with some mature adults. Sergeant Major Han chimed in. Good to see you, Sergeant Major. So I just want to know what is the first step we need to do in order to maybe make our schools safer for our children. Gun vending machines. Well, I said, everybody's got this, got their thoughts on it. But John says gun vending machines. I'm serious because I struggle with what I think. I see people on both sides of the fence hopping to extremes here. We got to come up with some grown up adult solutions. Not just saying, well, it's simple, just do this. I'm not sure that arming teachers is the right thing to do. Honestly, my wife's a teacher. And my wife didn't sign up to be humping a gun around. It's not her niche. All right, we got people chiming in here. Yes, absolutely. You need to do your research, and you need to come with your opinions with some facts. First thing we all probably got to do is quit looking at Facebook and let everybody get all cranked up. It's too easy to get on there and let emotions run high. A lot of you people spend some time in service. You should know that you got to make decisions, not with emotion, but with some sense. So I think everybody first needs to calm down. But we need to come up with some real things because our most precious natural resources is what's at risk here. And why did my head just pop that big? Hold on. We're struggling over here. My arm shot out. Good Lord. We're having all kinds of trouble. I apologize. Technical difficulties. See if I can get it squared away here. All right. Is that better? Am I looking better? Apologize. Let me get back over where I can talk to y'all. All right. Sorry about that. That arm shooting out over there. All right. John says we should enforce the laws on the books. Okay. Well, I agree with that. I think you need to put the hammer down. All right. I mean, but the thing is half the people that do this, well, a lot of them don't even, get taken alive. But if they do get taken alive, most of them I've seen, they do lower the hammer on them. I'm just curious to know what we do, and think about how many schools there are in this world. All right, Paul says we armed pilots after 9/11. Yep. Well, we may have armed pilots. I agree with you, but we also spun up the federal air marshals. We spun up a whole other branch of basically federal law enforcement just to cover the air. So is that, man, Little Top is all over the place here. I apologize for how he's acting. Let's see if I can get off him and maybe, there we go. Hopefully that'll be a little bit better. So I agree with you, Paul. We did do that. I know, and Andy's sick and tired of hearing about automatic weapons and military-style weapons. Okay, let's talk here, because pretty much everybody on here is at least a veteran or appreciates weapons. Most people in the world, when they see an M4 and AR-15, the first thing they think, well, that's an automatic assault rifle, and it's evil. I got one in my house. My wife knows I have it. I got it locked up. It's safe, and I don't want anybody taking it from me. The problem is, it's a fine line because I think we should have access and the ability to get these weapons. Let me ask y'all this. How many of y'all on here? We got about 15 of us right now. Real quick for it, John says, what's changed since we were kids? Well, we all know a lot's changed. And I can't put my finger on what it is because when I grew up in Western North Carolina, like everybody knows, half the trucks had gun racks and guns in the back of them. You didn't go break in and take their shit, and you didn't grab it and start killing people. That's just how it was. But let's get back to what we were saying. I'll see, I'm on my soapbox and losing my train of thought. That's what happens when you get old. Oh, about how many of y'all on here ever had to go through the process to get a top secret security clearance? How many of you? Takes months. Come to your hometown, talk to your neighbors, get all up in your business. They go see your work. They go through a whole process. What I want to know is, what is wrong with us instituting a legit background check like that? Is it the money and the funding? Like, what's stopping that from happening? Because I believe in the right to bear arms, but I also believe that there's a lot of fruitcakes getting a hold of some of these arms. Now, if it wasn't an M4 or something else like this and they want to do bad, I feel like they could. Over here in the States, we see these mass shootings every now and then using these M4s. Well, I don't know how many of y'all farted dust overseas, but overseas they just strap a cell phone and a detonator to an old howitzer round, and they end up doing a V-bed or a car bomb or an IED. So there's always a way that people are going to try and hurt other people. But I think maybe figuring out a way that we can make sure these weapons stay in the hands of the people that have them I don't think that's such a bad idea, and if I'm wrong, feel free to chime in. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry, I'm going back to see what everybody's saying. Steve's talking about them Tide Pods. Now kids are that is pretty funny. I've seen that meme a whole lot. I agree. My thoughts are first. I think the kids down there in Florida is a tragedy, and what they're going through is heartbreaking, and the families, and I can't even imagine something like that. I will say, when they're talking about, the other day they eating Tide Pod, and now all of a sudden they're, making gun control decisions. Well, the unfortunate thing is a lot of young people who don't have a lot of experience right now in life went through some horrible stuff. And I think the reality is there's some horrible shit that happens in this world. Am I wrong? There's bad stuff. And we don't want it to happen. And usually, if you're in a position that you see it, you're old enough, mature enough to try and process it and make it through it. Having 17-year-olds and 16-year-olds say what needs to happen here, I don't know if that's the answer. And I heard for them. I'm just not sure that's the answer. Let's see what else y'all saying. All right, all right. So unless and y'all feel free to hop on there and say, Top, I think you're full of shit. I mean, give me a solution. I want some open. This is open door policy right here. I want some people to actually talk to me with some legit options. So far the options I see are number one, armed teachers. I don't know if arming all teachers is a solution. I'm not sure my wife is ready to hump around a pistol. There may be some teachers that are willing to go through the training to do that. I don't have a problem with it. Now, you're opening up a whole can of worms if a kid gets a hold of that weapon in that classroom. That's a whole nother problem that could happen. So there's got to be a huge level of adulthood, not adultery, a huge level of grown-upness to be happening if you're going to start putting weapons in classrooms. Second option, start putting more armed security at every school. Can you even imagine the cost of what it would take to put armed security at every school? And I know a lot of these schools have resource officers. But I just can't imagine how much it would cost everybody to make that happen. Media's using their emotions, pushing the agenda. I agree, emotions are high. I don't think that outlawing weapons is the answer. I really don't. And I understand that these weapons scare some people. I recognize that. I'm just telling you, I don't think that's the answer. Let's see. Okay, veterans volunteer 1 week to stand guard. Well, here's the thing, and this is where complacency comes to play. After something bad like this happens, yeah, I think, people would be lining up wanting to help out some of these young kids, little 4 and 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids going to school. Anybody want to get on there and help them out? You know what I mean? But after 6 months, 8 months, a year, and nothing's happened, you know how it is. People are going to start, well, you know what, they're going to be all right now. Everything's going to be all right. Well, I'm be honest with you, it's going to have to be a long game. And there's got to be a long game and a mindset change. The kid that shot up that school obviously had some mental health problems. Not saying that's the excuse. I'm saying that's what was happening. And if you've ever dealt with anybody with some mental health problems, it's not just a click on, click off type thing. Metal detectors wouldn't have helped out much because that boy would have walked right through it with that weapon. But I agree, maybe it's some type of buzz in, buzz out type situation. Okay, arm the admins. Well, if the admins are qualified and they're willing, and they feel like that they're ready to move to contact if something happens, then I think that could be an option. Okay, so I made Son say a lot of these schools do have resource officers, but it's usually a combo paid for between the school and the local police department. But and I say this because my wife's a teacher, but those teachers don't have any money right now. All right, so there's no money going into these schools. My wife goes and buys shit all the time for these young children. All right, they don't have books and classes anymore. What I remember, school does not exist anymore. These teachers are responsible for going and getting their own stuff to make it happen because funding gets cut and funding gets cut over and over and over again. And now all of a sudden, we are going to add a whole other position to every school around here. I'll be honest, right now when emotions are high, people vote for it. Again, like I said, in a year or so, people can start backing off. All right, let's see. What y'all have to say? Proximity badges. Yeah, buzz in, buzz out. I think that might be a valid option. I mean, hell, if y'all worked at any place with any real security, worked at a television station for years, you buzz in just to get in, then you get into another part, buzz in there. Now, I will say, if this young kid was from that school, he'd probably find a missing link in that armor. Somebody wanted to do it, but I do think that would button it up some right there. Okay, I agree with you, Steve. There needs to be a new complete background check and psych eval. Don't have a problem with that. And I do believe there should be a waiver that if you are a veteran, you have been through initial basic combat training, or you in any type of law enforcement, you may get a waiver for some of that. You probably still need to go through the psych eval, but I know for a fact you make it through basic and IIT, you've at least learned to basically use that weapon. At a minimum, you at least know how to use that weapon. Now, at my wife's school, you got to be buzzed in the front too. But I guarantee you, if I walk that whole perimeter around that school, you're going to find a way into it. You're going to find some little 8-year-old kid sitting there and say, "Hey, buddy, let me in." You'd be like, "Yes, sir, let you right in." So I do think it would help out some, but if the kid's from that school, they might be able to find out. What I would like to say is, if y'all are out there and you have enough, those of us, and I'm saying this like all of us that are on here, we have got to maintain our heads and come up with real solutions. I'm getting tired of watching everybody sit around and measure dicks about how their side is better than the other side. We need real solutions right now. All right? I don't have a problem with them outlawing them bump stocks. All right? Don't have a problem with that. Hold on, we got a lot of people chiming in now. Cameras everywhere. Automatic door locks. Wow, smoke everywhere. That's interesting. Throw a little bit of concealment on that bad boy. All right, the mental health and PTSD. Y'all check out what John wrote right there. Mental health's tricky, folks. It's real tricky. I think we're dealing with more mental health problems than we have in the past. And I don't know a quick solution to that. But I think a background check with a good psych eval is, personally, I think is probably the way that we need to go. Okay, but everybody on there knows that buying an M4 ain't hard. It's considered a rifle. All right, it fires a 223, 5.56 tiny little round, and you can go to any gun show and get you one if you got enough money. I mean, it's that easy. All right, I'm not going to use the term assault weapon on here. I think any type of weapon you can assault somebody with. But it's not hard to go out there and get you a rifle. And M4 seems to be the one of choice. There for a long time it was an AK-47. I don't think it's the weapon. I think they're taking advantage of the style of weapon and then hold more rounds and put more rounds down range. Same reason we have them. Hey, is my volume bad? Ryan says my volume's bad on here. Y'all stand by. Let me hop on over to my OBS and check this out. I apologize. Let me know if I'm loud enough on here. My levels look good. Hey, real quick, y'all stand by. Can y'all hear me all right? I'm getting I got old Ryan saying he can't hear me. All right, well, I understand that outlawing those bump stocks may be the final solution. I don't have a problem with them outlawing them. All right, it's hard to get that stuff. Okay, good. They said my audio's better. They say some of those things that you can mod out your weapon. I don't have a problem with it. That's just me personally. Y'all may disagree. That's just how I feel. I'm not real sure why my audio's low because I'm looking at my mic right here and it's pushing through pretty loud. So I apologize if y'all can't hear me. All right, cool. Everybody said, Jared, you need to get one of them Q-tips, buddy, and just put it in and just kind of turn in a slow counterclockwise. First, It feels good. I don't know if y'all know this, but cleaning your ears with Q-tips is like the third best feeling in the world, next to an orgasm and a good poop. But y'all get around some Q-tips. Maybe that's all it is. Oh, all right, all right. Anyway, I just wanted. I like hearing what y'all have to say. I recognize right here that I don't have the solutions, but I think most of us agree that an in-depth background check is the way to go. And I'm going to go through all these here later on and see what y'all have to say. What's some of the other things? All right, let's change topic for a minute. This is a hot topic. I don't want anybody getting all worked up. Oh, we still got people chiming in. Let's see. Let's see. Closing the gaps in the system. Local law enforcement 39 times. Oh, Jeremy Price, I agree. The ball was dropped on the law enforcement side. I think they recognize that now. FBI dropped the ball, didn't get passed on and followed up on like it should have. From what I read today, the sheriff's department dropped the ball because there were people standing by and they weren't moving to contact. I can't even wrap my mind around the fact that there could be an active shooter in a school and you have a weapon in a vest and you're not moving to contact. I can't. I want to hear what those boys have to say because I can't wrap my head around that. So if y'all get an article, send it to me. If there's an excuse or a reason that shit, what's happening there, Son Hutch? How you doing? If there's a reason those sheriff's deputies didn't move straight into that school and start banging, I want to know why. Because I would be hemming somebody's ass up. They're almost halfway responsible for some of those kids that were there. I want to know why. But, all right. Let's move on past that for a minute. My eyebrows seem to be getting lower and lower. Hold on. Let me get a drink here. Alrighty. That's a real drink, not a cartoon drink. Anyway, the sheriff probably should resign, quite honestly. Anyway, let's move past this for a minute. Alright? Feel free to keep typing in. I want to go around and see what y'all have to say, and I'm going to dig through all this and try and respond to everybody. Other thing I want to talk about tonight. What do you all think, since most of us are veterans, about the thing coming out that says, if you can't deploy, then you're out of the military? What y'all think about that? I'm going to tell you up front. I think it's the best damn thing I've heard in a long time. There are quite a few people who sat around and watched their partners roll out. For one reason or another, if you can't deploy, if you're in the business of putting a hammer down, you need to be able to go when you got to go. That's just how I feel about it. I feel like if you can't deploy, whether it's for physical reasons or whatever reasons, if it's a family support plan, because I saw it happen to quite a few people, didn't go overseas for one reason or another. And I'm not talking about the people who got legit hurt. We had one guy going, got hurt right before he went. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tactfully and tactically planning to make sure that you don't have to go overseas again when your job is to go overseas. Big money was spent on you to be able to put the hammer down when you get called. And if you can't do that, you're not part of the solution. And you need to move on. If you can't do it because physically, you need to get out. You need to go to the VA, get your doctor, let him take a look. Get compensation for the injuries that you sustained. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. Do what you got to do. But don't sit there and pretend like you can go when you can't go. Let's see what everybody's seeing here. Pregnancy. Pregnancy is a calculating game, and I hate to say that, ladies, but I know some people got pregnant so they wouldn't end up going. So, I don't know, that's tricky on the female front. Mostly I'm just talking about the guys. But if you're doing it on the female front, I think that's just as wrong as any of the boys out there. Don't sit there and soak up that paycheck all the time when you're at home, take advantage of all the benefits and the benefits you're going to get as a veteran, and then when the time comes, just not even go. Way back in the day, they used to QMP. Am I wrong? I know Sergeant Hutch and Sergeant Hahn. Remember, what was it called? Was it QMP? When you stayed one rank too long, say you're like an E4 over 15 years old, and you just got to boot and give a shit. Do they not do that anymore? Let's see what everybody say. Yeah, but you always need a fob, but fob still got to go overseas. You can sit in a fob all you want. I'm just talking about just getting over there. Hell, that's the first step. Okay, no, I don't have a okay. Maybe so. Chad says that some of these people don't require overseas tour. Maybe not. Maybe not. However, I think, my simple cartoon opinion, that when you put this uniform on, you need to be ready to go to the show. It's part of the game. It's like being a police officer who won't pull nobody over. It may not be your job in the police department, but if you gotta do it, you gotta do it. Yeah, QMP, that's what it was. Yeah, get rid of that dead weight's hard. I mean, it really is hard because back, you know, back in the day, people, quite honestly, I think they listen to the NCOs more. These days, it's a softer time. It's softer time where they don't want to get, just kick people out for the sake of kicking them out. Everybody say, oh, you know what? He's a good man. He's got 3 children at home and all this kind of stuff right here. Well, that's tough shit, quite honestly. I think they need to boot him out. And I think having a policy like that in place is the way they need to go. All right. Those are my 2 big things I want to talk about today. Again, shout out to all my people who are supporting me on Patreon Preacher. Hold on. Look at Ken, that cancer got back in. And let me tell you right now, I get it. It ain't easy. Going back when we went to Iraq, my blood pressure was all jacked. Had to get on medicine, all kinds of stuff. So you got to make a conscious decision that you want to go. All right, I'm just saying you shouldn't be using it trying to get out of it. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get back down here. All right, look at that. Time first on Tom Thornton's on here too. Thornton, you missed out. We talked about a whole bunch of different things. We've been talking about gun control, and we were talking about kicking people out who can't deploy. All right, y'all give me a good. We still got a little bit of time on here. Y'all give me a good topic. What's on y'all's mind? Tom wants to issue all 18-year-olds guns and train them. Okay. Well, let's talk about it. We didn't really talk about that a little bit. I think education's the key. The reason these weapons scare the hell out of some people is because they feel like they're picking up a poisonous snake. I have yet to see a weapon turn around and shoot you when there's somebody not fucking with it. I think you need to understand weapons is half the part of not being scared of them. And I think education probably is the key. Back in the day at good old Morganton Junior High School in North Carolina, up in Burke County, we all took the hunter safety course. It was part of PE. Everybody did it, whether you were going hunting or not. But at least you learned about it. You learned how to carry a weapon. You learned how to make sure it was on safe. That's just how it was back then. Of course, that was back in the time when there were trucks rolling around with their rifles in the back window, and it wasn't a problem. I guess it was a different time. I will say this, and I do somewhat agree with you here. If we had to find a population of people to put in these schools and protect them, how long we been at war now? How many Joes, how many young men and women in this country have we sent overseas to fight? We probably got more combat veterans floating around this nation than any time in history. I'd like to know the numbers on that. I bet you we do. And spending them in a position to protect our own is not such a bad idea. Where the money's going to come from, I don't know. What type does the federal government pick it up? Does a local government pick it up? Both of them will be pointing at the other ones. I can guarantee you that shit. And there'll be 2 different, politicians on either side talking about how they're always right and how easy it is. It ain't easy. Don't anybody sit on here and say it's an easy decision. Steve's picking on them 18-year-olds today. It's a different time. But also, I know some young kids are pretty hard chargers. So you got a small unit. Some of them soft as the underbelly of a baby pig's ass. Some of them hard as pecker lips. Woodpecker lips. Not pecker lips. That doesn't sound good. Alright, let's see. Kelvin says, let's start making basic training more disciplined. Well, I think that's happening. I got the drill sergeants back in AIT. I think that's a huge step. Funny thing is, I didn't realize they weren't in AIT anymore. But I think that's a big thing. 15 years ago. Steve, your man, give a shout out to you, buddy. Shout out to your dad, man. That's rough. Hope you have a cold beer tonight. Thinking about Sergeant Major Robert Gallagher. Sorry to hear that, man. I do think that I think it needs to be veterans. I do not think that our current military needs to be put in a position to protect schools. And I don't think National Guard. I don't think the state's gonna have the money to put a lot of those people on orders like that. So I don't know if it should be people in uniform doing this. If they're gonna do something like that, they probably need to spin up a whole new branch of the federal law enforcement or something like that. I don't know. All right, well we had a pretty good night here. Pretty good night. All right. We got one more topic of conversation. Next, what do y'all want to talk about? One more thing. Sit here and wait on y'all. I tell you what, I'm gonna spin down here, and we are gonna see if we can watch one of my YouTube videos. The one that honestly I thought was the funniest one that I've ever done. But it's Smelly Joe. Y'all know all them oils and stuff like that that you can get. All those. You can get peace and common. You can get relaxation. Get whatever you want. Well, what about all the rest of us who just miss our time in the barracks? Let's see if I can pull this off. Let me see if. Oh, first let me pop over and say shout out to my boys over there at One Nation Coffee. They stepped in. I'm kind of working with another veteran group like this. I appreciate y'all what you do. If you want your coffee from a bunch of good vets, go check these guys out. They're good stuff. All right. Let's see here. Why is that like that? That is not what I want. I'm going to step over here and see. Bazing. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if this sound comes through. Y'all stand by. You ready? Y'all not getting that audio, are you? Ah, well, this ain't gonna work at all. Alrighty. I'll stop. I'll step back over here. I was hoping I could play a video for y'all. I thought that'd be fun, but disregard. Alright. Let's see, let's see. Alright, let's get back to, no sound, no sound, nope. Alright, I apologize, guys. I apologize. Alright. Pizza MREs. That's kind of good news for all y'all hate all your different MREs. Getting the pizza back in there sounds like a good plan. Well, anyway, if go check out the Smelly Joe Oils video on my YouTube page. I thought it was one of the funniest things we did, but maybe y'all didn't see it or think it's that funny. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't know what happened with that whole green thing. It's crazy. Wayne loves me. Give a nice big old hug to Wayne. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. All right. Anyway, the Olympics. Y'all been watching the Olympics? I'll be honest. I really ain't got to watch much of the Olympics at all. And I like it. I like the hockey. I like some of that stuff. I think half the people that are announcing they look like they're straight off the Hunger Games. I mean, can't we just have some normal people announcing on that shit? It's just me. Just saying. Anyways, well, folks, it's been a good half hour. Glad everybody checked in. Good to see everybody. As usual, I got stuff I'm working on. Things are going slow. I apologize, but I got like 20 oars in the water, and I'm trying to make it all come together. For any of y'all out there, EOD, it looks like I'm going to be trying to go down that EOD Memorial, which will be happening, I think, at the beginning of May, late April. So I'll keep you posted on that. If y'all going to go down there, I'd like to see y'all. Curling. We want to know what curling is. Curling is a little strange. I'll give you that. It is kind of like ice bowling, but you get to run out in front of your ball. And the crazy thing is, they just busted some of them cats for doping. Like, what kind of steroids do you need to roll a giant ice cube down through there? My question. All right. That's all I got, folks. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate everybody who contributes to my Patreon page and everything like that. Hold up. People still chiming in. Hey, I'll go back and try and answer all these questions and stuff. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and spin off. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your service. If y'all need anything from me, you can always write me at firstsergeantlittletop@gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. Make sure you share our videos and our posts. And I got a Instagram on there too. So if you're on Instagram, just look up Old Little Top. All right. I'm going to keep checking this later on, trying to answer y'all questions. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Little Top out.